Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're gonna say that to me after I just paid for all your shit is gonna be a problem. I'm gonna feel like I have to get involved. Is it proper etiquette to slap a bitch? Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Said by Ty. I'm Ty and I hope you are ready for some Ty time because we about to get into some what? Some things, yes indeed, yes indeed. And today we have another Reddit Am I the A-hole video. Yes, it's been quite a while since I did one of these, probably a few weeks, but you know what? I'm bringing it back. Listen, doing these type of videos is a nice change of pace for me and I find them to be entertaining. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get right on into this one. Alright, first on the docket, we got, am I the a-hole for ignoring my friend's phone calls and telling her to F off? I don't know, we'll see. I've been friends with Lucy for about 30 years. Ooh, long time friendship, wow. Lucy always calls me when she has a problem, as we've been friends for so long and I've always been there for her. This can be something as small as editing her resume or something as big as needing a loan to make rent. Unfortunately, Lucy only has one mode, emergency. Ooh. Those are the worst. I've dealt a great deal with people who hit you up only in terms of emergency, and yeah, it's not fun. It leads to a buildup of resentment in my experience. So whether it's a crisis or a simple problem, she always approaches it in emergency mode. Oh, that's what you meant. Never mind. Strike that from the docket. The other day I was in the middle of taking a timed assessment for work on my phone. I was about 5 minutes into it when Lucy called me. As I was in the middle of the assessment, I declined the call and put her into voicemail. As soon as I did this, she called back. I once again declined and put her into voicemail. She called back a third time and I did the same. Okay, look, when someone's not picking up the phone, take that as a hint. Now, a lot of people don't know how to take hints nowadays. Take the hint. I don't want to talk to you. At least not right now. I could be busy, which this person clearly is, and you hitting me up constantly. Honestly, I would have put my phone into do not disturb and retained my peace. She texted me, which popped up on the screen, 911, call me. I responded, busy, call you in 20. She replied, please, it's an emergency. I closed the text and continued my assessment. She then started calling again. I put 5 calls in a row into voicemail. Okay, so obviously I don't know this person as well as the OP does, but at a certain point with 5 calls in a row, my anxiety will start to build up and I'll be like, okay, this must be really important. She says that her friend is constantly in emergency mode. Every little thing is an emergency. So I can understand why she would be wanting to ignore her call, but it really is like the boy who cried wolf. Like the one time it's actually an emergency is gonna be the time that you just don't pick up at all and it's gonna be a problem. That's why y'all gotta be careful with constantly begging and needing stuff all the time, and much less calling it an emergency. I was behind on my assessment, so I tried to power through, but stress was getting to me. Lucy texted me again, need you now. I lost it and texted back, fuck off. OP done had it. In 30 years, neither of us had ever said that to each other, but in that moment, I just wanted her to leave me alone. That probably really hit then if you've never said anything like that to each other in 30 years. She didn't respond, but stopped calling me. When I finished my assessment, I called her back and she threw me into voicemail. I texted her and said I was done and could talk. She replied, it's fine, I took care of it. Okay, well, the problem here is if you were able to take care of it on your own in the first place, then it wasn't really an emergency. Or at least it wasn't to the point where you had to constantly hit her up 5 times in a row. And you have to remember that she's doing something important. She's taking an assessment and you can't just be expecting people to operate on your time. Now, could she have been more gentle about the situation? Sure, but she had already told you that she was busy and she was gonna hit you up in 20 minutes. So there's a breaking point. Granted, it took 30 years, but I later learned that her car had broken down and she needed a ride to work so she wouldn't miss her shift. That's okay. That's actually an emergency. She wound up calling her father. She was late for work and got a written warning. How many times is she late for work? Because if it's only been that one time, then a written warning is a little much. Like, jobs be extra. That's why I can't wait till I don't have to work anymore. She's been very cool to me and I feel very badly that I hurt her. I've apologized for cursing at her. She just says it's fine without any further comment. I'm beginning to doubt if my reaction was justified and feel horrible for damaging our friendship. Am I the a-hole for how I reacted and not helping my friend when she was in need? This is one of those situations where it's not really black and white. I wouldn't even call your friend an a-hole. I think what needs to happen is y'all need to have a conversation about boundaries and what is considered an emergency. I feel like if y'all sit down and have that talk and then you express to her that because she's always in a state of quote unquote emergency, it comes off as very flippant. I think that's a good word to describe it. Like I said earlier, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. If you're constantly in a state of emergency when things are not really an emergency, then yeah, people are not going to want to respond in a timely fashion, especially if they're busy doing something else. So I wouldn't say you're an a-hole, because honestly, I could see me doing something like that, and it's like, okay, well, I told you I was busy, I was gonna hit you up in 20 minutes, etc., etc. But also, the friend could have just sent a text and said that the car broke down. That was certainly an option, to text that instead of calling over and over and over and over and over. I put more blame on the friend simply because if someone expresses to you that they're busy and it's a true emergency, it is best to find another option. Or if you take the time to actually text what that emergency is, you never know. That person might be like, oh, okay, I'll be on my way, and drop everything. You never know. So there's communication issues on the friend's end. I just think a conversation needs to be had between the two of them. Not the a-hole, it wasn't a 911, it was an inconvenience. It sounds like a toxic relationship, and when she just uses you, move on, dude, she's not a friend. Reddit people kill me. Y'all don't know these people's relationship enough to be like, she's not a friend. Like, from the few details we got, you don't know what this friend has done for her over the course of 30 years. Like, shut up. And then you're telling someone after 30 years of friendship, just throw it away. Like, that's not gonna be easy, no matter what advice you think you're giving. A lot of people in the comments are saying that her situation wasn't an emergency. I disagree. An emergency doesn't have to be somebody's about to die, a life or death situation, and somebody's hurt, or whatever y'all think an emergency is. An emergency is just something that's urgent and it needs to be taken care of, and done so in a timely manner. Your car breaking down, for one, is an emergency in itself. Now you have to wait for towing, you have to pay for the towing, you have to get the car fixed, and now you're dealing with potentially being late for work. I don't agree with the people saying that this wasn't an emergency. Y'all are weird. Not the a-hole. I got irritated just reading it. She must be absurdly entitled if she thinks she can simply demand that you drop what you're doing, whatever it is, the moment she calls. I mean, I agree, there does seem to be a sense of entitlement there, but I don't agree that the situation wasn't an emergency. I would think it's an emergency if it was me. I'm like, hey yo, would you be able to pick me up? It's an emergency, I'm about to be late for work. If you can't do it, fine, call somebody else. But whatever. Not the a-hole. Just gonna go ahead and move along. Am I the a-hole for refusing to apologize to my dad's wife for what I said when she was rude to me? I am currently staying with my dad at his summer house. My dad's wife, Monica, is also here. To be clear, neither Monica nor I have jobs. Monica has always had an issue with my unemployment. According to my dad, she thinks it shouldn't be the case and that my dad should pressure me to get a job, which he has declined to do so. First of all, you starting off on the wrong foot off the bat. How is this woman gonna be preaching that you need to get a job and she don't got one? Is she a stay-at-home mom? Do they have kids together? Because honestly, that would make a difference. Like, I would say that being a stay-at-home mom is a job, but if she's not doing that, to be on your ass for not having a job is quite the choice. She has made the odd, thinly veiled comment about it, which I've ignored. Being all that it is, 2 days ago I was out by the pool and Monica came over to sit with me, which was pretty odd. She asked what I planned on doing for the rest of the summer, and I said I was having several friends come over and visit after she goes home. She asked how we all had so much free time and turned the conversation back to work. Girl, mind your business. I was calmly dodging her barbed comments and told her if my dad doesn't care about my having a job, she shouldn't either. Monica then said even if he wasn't pushing, he would be proud of me earning my own money, which frankly set me off. I don't understand why this woman is so concerned about your pockets. And yes, if your father isn't pressed about you having a job, then she shouldn't be. You're not my mom. I turned to her and said, do you think my dad would be proud of me earning money the way you do? Ooh, spicy. Okay, OP. Apparently she went to my dad in tears and told him what I said. My dad was initially on my side and said she should mind her own business, but she's still upset and not really speaking to anyone. My dad says I should now apologize because she's learned her lesson and won't try it again. I think she effed around and found out, and that she's dragging this out. I don't need an apology for her inappropriate behavior. I don't see why she needs one for my reaction. Am I being an a-hole by not apologizing? I don't think so. To be honest, with people like that, they're gonna always play the victim. I don't know this woman. Maybe her heart is in the right place, like she wants you to work, but at the end of the day, again, if my dad isn't worried about me having a job, then you shouldn't be. Like, how is me not having a job affecting you? That's what it comes down to. Not the a-hole. Apologize for what? Commenting on her employment status after she commented on yours? Exactly. Like, if you're gonna make comments, I'm gonna make a comment. That's just fair. That's That's fair. Come on now. Am I the a-hole for telling my friend that she cannot invite her friend to my parents' beach house? So my parents own a beach house, which my friend Jess, her boyfriend Harry, and myself were planning on going to for a week. Our road trip there is coming up in less than 2 weeks, and this morning Jess texted me to ask if her friend Heather can come as well. Turns out her friend is going through a breakup, and Jess thought bringing her to the beach house would be a good solution to cheer her up. The thing is, the place is pretty small. My parents bought it for themselves, and so it's a 1-bedroom, and already as 3 people, the place was going to be pretty cramped with Jess and Harry sleeping in the living room. I told her about this, and she said that we can make it work and that Heather can bring her own air mattress and that she won't take up much room. You being insistent on bringing someone into another person's space is already a red flag. I told Jess I felt as though this might be awkward as I've never met Heather before, and she'll basically have to tag along with us everywhere as well as go for the 5-hour road trip. Okay, that's reasonable. Jess told me that Heather won't be a problem and is very nice. That doesn't really matter if you don't know a person, but everyone is different. Some people wouldn't mind like tagging along a new person and getting to know them on the trip. So, different strokes for different folks. I wouldn't really be upset at anyone who's like, no, I don't know this person, so I don't want them to come on the trip. I feel like that's okay. I initially reluctantly agreed to this because it doesn't seem like Jess would take no for an answer, but I guess I gave off the vibe that I wasn't okay with this because Jess went on to ask if I was actually feeling good about this. Girl, if you're not comfortable with a new person coming along, then you just not comfortable. I told her that honestly having a stranger I never met invited to a trip I've been looking forward to is a real downer on my trip. I could agree with that. I ended up telling her that ideally I wouldn't want Heather there, but that Jess seemed as though she had already invited her and so we'll make it work. Jess is now mad at me, saying that I should have been upfront and that now things are going to be awkward on our trip and that she can't uninvite Heather. Girl, bye. I understand you're trying to be a good friend. Though, okay, if I'm being fair in the situation, OP should have been upfront. You definitely should have made that clear. I wouldn't call you an a-hole for not saying upfront how you felt because you were trying to be nice and you're trying to be a good friend to your friend. But yeah, you definitely should have spoke up about how you really felt in that moment. I probably could have been more upfront, but I feel as though I brought up valid reasons as to why she would be a bad fit on the trip. And in general, I feel as though it's poor etiquette to try and invite a stranger to someone else's house at the last minute. I can agree with that. I agree with that. She can indeed uninvite Heather and she can own the responsibility of disappointing her friend. If Jess wants to cheer up her friend, then she can do that without using your parents' home. You could just uninvite everyone if you want. I mean, true. A response to that comment says, in my opinion, OP should have owned the responsibility of disappointing her friend and telling her not to invite Heather from the start. Everyone sucks here. I could see that perspective. Like I said, she definitely should have been more upfront about how she was feeling about the situation. I never would put my friend in that predicament in the first place to be like, hey, can I tag along this person on our trip? Especially if it's last minute. Like, y'all didn't even get to go out with this person, like have a lunch, get to know her a little bit before inviting her. But like I said before, different strokes for different folks. There are plenty of people in the world, I'm sure, who wouldn't mind like, yeah, tag along your friend. There are people like that. I feel like I could even potentially be that kind of person, but I'm not gonna fault anybody, like I said, if they're uncomfortable with a stranger being with them on their trip. Like, I'm not gonna fault them for that, but I will fault OP for not being upfront in the first place. Am I the a-hole for canceling my brother's wedding? My brother met his future wife at a party 3 years ago. Honestly, we never got along, but I always tried to put up a peaceful front because my brother seemed blissfully happy with her. Ella was mean to me a lot, like a lot. She would make comments about my weight, my makeup, and especially my dog. Oh, already she sounds like trash. The coming for the dog was the last straw. Don't come for the pup. When the two got engaged, she asked me to be her maid of honor since she has no sisters or many girlfriends, and since my brother seemed thrilled, I obliged. What I failed to realize when I accepted the role was that to her, maid of honor meant planning the entire wedding. Girl, this lady sounds like a piece of work. Like I was booking venues, florists, jazz band, everything. Even worse, she expected me to put my credit card down for all of it. This is why you have wedding planners. Why are you relying on your maid of honor to do all this? If you want all that stuff done, you get a wedding planner. That's a legit field that people work in. Hello. My brother and her are not exactly well off since I have a well-paying job. I didn't mind holding the deposits, but it was starting to add up a lot. Every time I asked Ella about it, she would say that it would be paid back by her parents before the wedding. Oh, and she's relying on her parents. Ah, nah, this girl is a whole red flag. Well, flash forward to last week, about 3 weeks before the wedding, and she's unbearable to be around. She can't last more than a few sentences before snapping at anyone. Oh, so she's a bridezilla. So when I, of course, brought up the money, shit hit the fan. I asked if she had received the updated receipt of everything owed when she exploded. She called me a whole line of terrible names, but the one that stuck out was her saying, "What do you need the money for anyway? Your sick dog is dead now." I'm wondering, is it proper etiquette to slap a bitch? You're gonna say that to me after I just paid? You're gonna say that to me after I just paid for all your shit? You're gonna say that to me? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Bro, if the brother doesn't defend his sister, if the brother doesn't defend his sister, it's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna feel like I have to get involved. My beautiful Toasty died about a month before this after he fought the bravest battle with cancer. He was my sole dog and I was devastated. I blinked at her and simply left the room, having no energy to even respond to something so cruel. That is so below the belt. And immediately called the vendors and canceled any deposit under my card. Every single one. Period. And that's how you clear a bitch. Nah, man, fuck her. Cause why would you gonna fix your mouth to say that to me after I pay for everything out of the kindness of my heart? Cause I didn't have to do it. And I damn sure don't know if I'm gonna get the money back cause you're relying on your parents to pay it back. Out of the kindness of my heart, I'm paying for this, your wedding basically. I'm your maid of honor and I don't even like you. And you gonna say something like that to me? It might have been a brawl that day, and after the brawl, then I would have canceled all that, cause you got me fucked up. After almost 20 calls, all that was left of her wedding was the dress and the flower arch. I texted my brother a short explanation. I told him that every vendor would be contacting him if they wished to keep their services, and they were now responsible for covering everything, and that I would no longer be attending. It was a matter of minutes before my phone started to explode, and I just turned it off. Yeah. It's been a few days and I haven't talked to anyone but my mom, who thankfully understands where I was coming from. My brother has tried to call, but I just feel terrible. I'd say you still should talk to your brother at least. I know what I did was extreme, but I also couldn't sit by and practically enable her cruelty anymore. I still can't help but feel bad for ruining my brother's big day. So I don't know, am I the a-hole for this? No, she got what she deserved. Honestly, your brother, collateral damage. I'm sorry, but first of all, he needs to be reevaluating why he's even in love with this woman. She sounds horrible. She sounds like a terrible, awful person. Not the a-hole. They were never going to pay you back. It's a good thing she showed how wicked she was before you got stuck with the bill. Honestly, I was thinking that, and I said that. I didn't think that she was going to get paid back for all that money that she was investing in the wedding, so I'm glad that she canceled everything anyway. Child, people are just so ridiculous. I can't even, like, how do you fix your mouth to be so wicked to somebody when they're doing everything for you? And you're a broke bitch at that. You ain't got no money. You're relying on me. If it was me in that situation, I would have had to get one of my sisters. I'm not violent, y'all, I promise. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's wife I am not throwing her daughter a baby shower? My dad's stepdaughter is 18 and she's expecting a baby. I don't know much about the circumstances overall. I know there is no father in the picture for this baby and no paternal family either. Oh, and that she's living with my dad and his wife again. So my dad's wife called me up randomly a few days ago and told me that her daughter's friends are not offering to throw a baby shower, and that as her sister, I would be the next person to throw her one because I am closer to her age group. She told me I have failed her daughter as a sister in the past by refusing to be her big sister and acting like I don't have responsibility to her. This is not the way you convince somebody to throw your child a baby shower. Why would you say this? If it was a no from me before, it's a hell to the no now. Because why would you say something like that to me, to guilt trip me into throwing your child a baby shower? What's the etiquette for baby showers? Can't any woman throw a baby shower for the person having the baby? Does it have to be a friend or a sister? Why can't the mom throw her own daughter a baby shower? I'm mad confused. I told my dad's wife I would not be throwing her daughter a shower, but she is more than free to, and if I have the time available, I might show up. I mean, yeah, she can throw that shower herself. She told me it wasn't good enough and I'm supposed to be her daughter's big sister, that she promised her a big sister. Why would you make that promise, dumbass? I told her she should have adopted an older girl or found a husband with a daughter who wanted to be big sister. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. I need to understand what this family's dynamic is, because it seems like it's like undercover beef between the daughter, the mom, and OP. Like, what's happening here? I told her she married a man whose daughter had no interest in taking on the role, and after 15 years, it was time she accepted that. I don't want to judge OP2 here because she clearly feels strongly about not being a big sister for whatever reason, but she is coming off as like, I don't know, like, this is just weird energy. So there's some tea that we're not getting about this family. She told me that my behavior was worse than when I chose to stop going to my dad's house during his parenting time when I was 13. I told her I was okay with that. I thought we were done, but yesterday she called me again and I gave her the same answer, no. She called me an asshole and told me I am hurting her daughter who is innocent in all this. Well, the daughter is 18. Why is she expecting a big sister that she's had no relationship with, really? It sounds like OP isn't close with anybody from what I'm reading, so why is she expecting a big sister? Why are you as the mom saying it won't be enough if you throw your own daughter a shower? I'm mad confused. Late last night, I got a message from who I assume is her daughter, but I can't be positive since I don't have the girl's number. And she said she was sorry her mom was being pushy and she was sorry if I hated her, but she would really love it if I wanted to even throw a shower with her. She said she could really use a big sister and she's always loved me even if I never loved or cared about her. This is sad. What the hell? What is this? What? Okay. The stepsister, she sounds kind of sweet, so I'm like, what's the problem? It made me question if I was too harsh in saying no because she did hit the nail on the head. She's always loved and admired me while I never loved or cared for her. Am I the a-hole? I need to know, we need more information. I need to know what your relationship with your dad is like and why you're so against having a stepsister, so I can properly gauge if you are truly being an a-hole or not, because we're missing a lot of details. This seems like a family drama type of situation that is potentially very hard to navigate. So I don't know where to go from here. I don't know what to say. Like, I can't properly say you're an a-hole, even though you're kind of coming off like an a-hole a little bit, because you did say that she's always loved and admired you. So if she's giving you love, why are you being stubborn and bitter? Not to say that you can't have a reason for it, because you could. And I'm not even saying that you're required to throw her a baby shower. You don't have to do nothing. You're not obligated to do a damn thing. I just want to know why you feel the way you feel, because it would help me gauge the situation. But we gonna go into the comments and see what they gotta say. Info. This is very confusing. Yes, I agree. Why doesn't her mother, as a grandmother, throw her a baby shower? Why are they forcing you? I don't understand. OP says she doesn't know why either. You're making this confusing, OP. I don't understand your family dynamic. Not the a-hole, it's pretty entitled for them to expect you to throw a baby shower. As the mother who seems to care so much about this, why can't your stepmother host the shower? Harsh or not, in your refusal, you should not be guilt-tripped into taking on this responsibility. That's that on that, really. I don't know. OP, you didn't give enough information in this story. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what I'm working with here. If I had to say it would be the stepmom, because why are you expecting your husband's daughter to throw a shower and there's like hardly a relationship there from what I understand? That's weird, and you should want to do it yourself anyway. I did see a comment that said that baby showers can be very expensive, so if the reason she doesn't want to throw a shower is because it'll be expensive, then yeah, she is definitely an a-hole, and she's an a-hole anyway for trying to pressure you into throwing a shower. I don't get it. But this could be an opportunity for OP and the daughter to form a bond, because the daughter seems sweet. If it was me and this situation happened, I would make the effort to build a relationship with the daughter, especially considering the OP said that the daughter has always showed love and affection and admiration for her, and OP just never returned it. That's interesting. It's a lot. That's a whole lot of girl. All right. Well, that's it for today's Am I the A-hole video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about these topics that I went over today. Did you agree with me? Did you disagree with me? Did you think everyone was an a-hole in every situation? Let me know down below. Until next time, I will see you guys, and always remember, this is said by Ty, and I said what I said. Bye.